You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
Welcome back. In the studio today, we're talking about flipping houses. And so for those of you that have been watching the TV shows, we've got some local experts that actually make this thing happen. And we've got Nick and Julie Bristow of bristowresidential.com. You can go to their website and check them out there. Before the break, we were talking just about how to figure out if you're the right person, how to kind of get started, the research part of it, and basically any successful business starts with a business plan. Mm-hmm. And really part of that is finding the right people to be partners or right people that you're going to refer to as far as resources, and part of that is getting the capital that you need to get into this business. If you're a listener out there and you're thinking about getting into the business, contact us at realtalktexas.com, and we'll put you in touch with Nick and Julie, and they can help you out in making sure that they can hopefully keep you from falling in any of those pitfalls. But one of the things we want to get into is, okay, I'm ready to go. I've written my business plan. I've got my rich friend that's going to help me out with some capital, or a 401k, the self-directed IRA, or somehow I've got this capital and I've got X amount of dollars that I'm going to invest. And I'm sure that's going to dictate a little bit as to what type of house you're going to flip.
Absolutely.
Correct. So if you have limited cash, you may be working in the lower priced homes, $60,000 to $100,000 homes. But if you got enough capital, you can even flip houses. You were telling me on the break, Nick, you were talking about that there are people that buy $1 million houses.
Absolutely.
And then put $200,000 into them and sell them for 1.4, and they've just made $200,000.
Yep,
so
there's people
you can find a deal in every price range. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. How do you find the deals? And if you were working with me, and I kind of said, okay, here's what I have to work with, how would we get started?
The first thing I'd ask you is, where do you want to flip houses?
Okay.
Because there's deals all over Dallas-Fort Worth. There's hundreds of thousands of homes. So you have to narrow, and that is not the duty of the realtor. That's going to be the duty of the flipper to decide where he wants to flip houses. And then the realtor can help him start finding houses.
Well, personally, I think I would, if I were going to do it, I would want to have it someplace convenient to me. So I think, if I'm living in Dallas,
helpful.
I don't think I'd want to do it over in Fort Worth.
Right.
Would you recommend that? Try to
keep
in your
it
backyard?
close, because you need to keep an eye on what's going on.
Yeah.
The
At least
people
at
that
first,
are working on the
until
house.
You have got a few under your belt. I'd recommend staying fairly close.
Yeah, I actually saw a show on HGTV and where it was somebody in Los Angeles, and they had to drive 45 minutes to the house, and they were both busy in their careers.
Right.
Yep. And as soon as I heard that 45 minutes, I thought, okay, their timeline's shot. They had like 6 weeks to get it done, and sure enough, on that show, they didn't even get close. So I would think that would have a big part of it. So
that's a big part.
All right, so I've identified that I live in Las Colinas, and I want to do something in the Irving area. So what's my next step?
You call me.
Okay, I call you.
That's right.
Okay, and tell me why I would call you. And
because I'm the best. No, it's just, that's what I've done for the 2 years I've been a realtor is, I have investors, I have people that want to flip or people that want to rent, and I find them houses, and I find them groups of homes.
Yep.
I know what is going to sell. I know what people are looking for, and we know the areas. If you want to find a house that's a good deal, that's priced low, and that if you make just a few tweaks, you can sell it high and make a nice profit.
Speaking of that, are you going to lead me to more like bank-owned properties or pre-foreclosed or HUD-owned, or where are you going to lead me?
It all varies. A lot of them are foreclosed homes because you can find a good deal. The seller, if I was going to sell my home, I think my home's worth a lot more than a bank does. So the foreclosure, that's a good market.
That market is, is somewhat dried up. We've had a kind of a freeze, not really a freeze, but that has drastically slowed down the number of foreclosed homes hitting the market right now. So the homes that are coming on are getting a lot of offers.
Why is it that we're seeing fewer HUD homes?
Well, I've heard every story. The most common story I hear about why it's happening is it's an election year. I still see the Roddy report. I still see all the homes getting posted. I know a lot of homes are going into alternative disposition programs. They're being auctioned off, or they're pooling them and selling them as pools. everything's just kind of slowed down until what I've been told is after the elections, they're going to start releasing the properties again. So we'll see. But, you can still get a good deal on a home. If you're buying one now with multiple offers, you can still make money, but you have to adjust your profit. You're going to make less money now than you would have because you're going to have to pay a little bit more for the house.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. I'm sure you guys have an Excel spreadsheet or a business model or something that you plug numbers into when you're getting ready. And Julie is smiling here because I think I've heard that she's the number person. So what's the math? What should I be looking to do in the marketplace? How do you make it work?
You want to find, first of all, a home that's priced well, but also once you get in the house, you want to get inspections. You want to see what's going on in the house. Yep. You want to be able to spend your money on a few cosmetic things. You don't want to have to go into the house and spend a lot of money on foundation per se, because no one's going to see that. The wiring or the plumbing. You want to go in and change a couple of light fixtures or paint or carpet, something that the public's going to see, and just want to do that as cheaply as possible.
Yeah. Cheaply, but still give.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it has to be of the quality of that neighborhood. You don't want to over-improve the house or
right. And there again, that's what your realtor can help you with, because you want to know what else is in the area. You want to look at other homes that are for sale, homes that are under contract. You want to see what the norm is for the area, because you do not want to over-improve the house, because you'll never recoup that in your money.
I think if you build a box and say my house has to fit within this box for me to purchase it, you'll probably never buy a house. The markets in the Metroplex right now are constantly moving up and down a little bit. You'll have a good 6 months in a subdivision where there's really no REO and things are picking up, then bam, 5 hit the market, and those are going to be your appraisals when you go to put yours on the market. So you can't have a box. It's moving. It's kind of like a moving target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so getting back to how do I find the right house? Mm-hmm. So I've decided I'm going to focus on a certain neighborhood or a certain area. Maybe you're going to counsel me, I guess, Julie, as far as, here's school districts and
absolutely
things like, is it a rental neighborhood or is it a, family neighborhood? Could you tell me because I can't tell if I drive in to a neighborhood, how many houses in that neighborhood are for owner occupied versus leased?
Absolutely.
Yes.
How do you find that out?
Various sources. We can look at DCAD. If I pull a DCAD subdivision, if the owner's name is a different address than the property, that's probably a rental property. So there's different ways to sift through the information, and price point tells you a whole lot.
So you help your buyers with all that analysis.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you're listening to Real Talk Texas on AM 570 KLIF, news and information. And if you want to contact Nick and Julia, just reach out to me at realtalktexas.com. That's realtalktexas.com. Send me a quick note and I'll put you in touch. Or you can go directly to their website. That's bristowresidential.com. After the break, we're going to dig deeper with Nick and Julie, and I'm going to narrow this down to what are the top 5 things to do to a home to build value fast so you can successfully flip that house and make a profit and really secure yourself and take that fear factor out of it for some of us listeners out there. So stay tuned.